Hamilton is about to lose 200 long-term care beds because a private company would rather close than expand. And this is what happens when conservatives privatize parts of our healthcare system. There are negative adverse effects even for people who are willing to play the capitalist game and pay the costs. Because when you privatize healthcare, services aren't offered to people who need them. Services are offered to people who can not only pay for them, but can be profited off of. Blackadar Continuing Care Center was supposed to be rebuilt after being awarded 112 desperately needed new beds, but instead they're closing down. This comes at a time when the Hamilton Hospital has over 400 patients who are waiting for other long-term care. Even more seniors waiting for long-term care at home. This is actually going to increase costs for the government, meaning that we're going to pay money from our tax dollars to not have these people in long-term care. Because the private system set up by the conservatives by Mike Harris in the 90s is deemed that they are not profitable enough to be worth servicing. That is why healthcare should not be private, because then it will not be offered to everybody who needs it. And wildly enough, on this article, I got an ad for a company privately hiring nurses. This would take nurses out of our public healthcare system and into the private sector, which means that our understaffing would continue to get worse. The expansion of for-profit long-term care and nursing has only rapidly accelerated under Ford. The point of privatizing something that is publicly owned is supposed to make it more efficient and better for consumers. But we've seen this time and time again with the privatization of Air Canada, Petro-Canada, and long-term care and now nursing. It doesn't make it better for anyone. Privatization of MRIs in Saskatchewan doubled the wait times. And there are some things where the private sector can be helpful and be more efficient. Our blood tests are all done by private clinics. And for the most part, that system works. But that system is not going to work with vulnerable people in long-term care. Because these companies don't care about taking care of our vulnerable populations. They care about making a dollar. Because while you don't have to care about a patient while drawing and analyzing their blood, you do need to care about a patient when you are taking care of them in their final days, when they are the most frail and the most vulnerable.